Back with another episode, Fall from Grace, man. Back starting in 2002, when I was in high school, when I really started like cutting school, doing things and shit. You feel me? Prior, you remember 42nd Street? You remember they had Virgin Mega Store, they had Barcode, they had what was it? The record store, HMV, and Toys R Us. You feel me? Toys R Us had like a little in the basement. They had a section with the games where you could play demos and stuff like that. And it was a regular thing for us to, cut school down there, be playing the games all day, until one day they started calling the police on niggas, telling niggas they couldn't come to the store until like 2 or 3 o'clock and things of that nature, you feel me? So to see them going out of business now, I'm not gonna say I'm glad, but it's well deserved, you feel me? First of all, $5 billion in debt. As a company that has a certain type of business model that doesn't improve over time, like when you see yourself, you're $2 billion in debt. No, you're $1 billion in debt. $2 billion in debt. $3 billion in debt. $4 billion in debt. It's like you ain't catch on before. Like you ain't see where you was headed this whole time. And it was one of those places that was like hailed as like the centerpiece of the world. Like they call Times Square the place where all roads converge. They call it that centerpiece of the world. Times Square is I think it's the biggest tourist attraction on the planet. You feel what I'm saying? Like millions of people walking around it on a daily basis. You feel me? So Toys R Us, I think Toys R Us, out of all the stores and the buildings and all that, I think Toys R Us had like the biggest retail space over there. Like niggas had 4 stories. Niggas had a Ferris wheel in there, dog. A Ferris wheel. Not a little mini bootleg Ferris wheel that's just like some small little shit. No, a Ferris wheel that went up to where you could go throughout the whole store. Like the Ferris wheel 4 stories tall. You understand? Like this is something that belonged in an amusement park. You feel what I'm saying? And it was getting money at one point. People shot that Toys R Us pretty much for the experience. You feel me? It wasn't like it was a big discount store. It was one of them things where it's like you want to go there, you want to take pictures of your purchase. You want to take pictures outside the store with the little costume characters like Spider-Mans and all them bum ass things that be out there trying to take pictures with you, and they want to charge you for the picture and shit. You feel me? But that was part of the experience shopping at Toys R Us. You understand? So that's where they got most of their notoriety from. And then over time, you see other companies start to come into play. You see the Walmarts, you see the Amazons, and other places. And the problem with Toys R Us was that Toys R Us, everything they sold was over retail price. Like whatever they call MSRP, like I guess that's like market something retail price or something like that. Like video games in Toys R Us, like how new games be $60. In Toys R Us, they were $65 plus tax. Which means for a brand new game, you're not paying $59.99, you're paying over $70. You feel me? So, it's not even just that, but then it's the toys as well that you're paying over retail price for. And to go to Toys R Us and get your kids' toys from there that was what the holidays was about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got movies that's based around this or have scenes that take place showing this in some part. You understand? So it was real important as far as like to the masses, to society, like to New York culture. You understand? Like to American culture. That particular Toys R Us on 42nd Street was, a real strong foothold for the company. But over time, as more things come, into fruition, it's like, that the experience of shopping at Toys R Us became less important. Why? Because you got people getting toys shipped to their house. They don't have to leave their crib to, you just go on Amazon, click, ship to your crib, and, you get it by Christmas. You don't have to go there and wait on them long ass lines that's like out the door to get a fucking toy. Aside from that, you got other places that's selling stuff way cheaper. Amazon. Like Amazon, you're getting the stuff straight from the manufacturer with no middleman except Amazon. With Amazon, all they charge you for is the shipping. You feel me? So when you go into Toys R Us and, all right, let's say one of them Barbie dolls, let's say retail price is $20. You go into Toys R Us, you paying $30 for it. Meanwhile, on Amazon, you getting it directly from the manufacturer, you paying $15. You feel me? So that just goes to show you the extreme. Like, you damn near getting it for half price nowadays. So it's like, why am I going to go to Toys R Us? I'm going to waste my money to get there. I'm going to go stand on that long ass line. I got to deal with, other being around a whole bunch of other shoppers. It's a crowded store. And I'm paying more money. When I could just stay home, go on Amazon, click, and then by Christmas, I'll have the toy shipped to my crib, and it'll be ready for, holiday, gifting and, shit like that. So it's like, over time, Toys R Us just became not important no more. And to see where they at now is because they had a business model that they didn't want to abandon. You feel me? As a corporation, as a company, you got to update your business model over the years. Like, you can't see that society is coming into a internet-based, convenience-based, conservative type of society, and you're still trying to make money off of stuff that was relevant in the 90s. It's 2018. Like, this type of stuff don't matter anymore. You understand? So for them to, in 2018 or 2017, 16, whatever, still have been trying to generate finances off that, and y'all already billions in debt. It's like, what was the point? Toys R Us, it's a lot y'all could have did. Like, y'all could have, first of all, Times Square rent is crazy. Like, from what I read, I think they might have been paying monthly in rent. They might have been paying about 8 figures, 7 to 8 figures. You feel what I'm saying? Like, imagine owning a store and paying like 9 to 10 million a month for your store to exist there. You understand? Like, you're getting taxed because your store's on the main strip where everybody can see it. So they paying a lot of money for their rent. I'm pretty sure promotion and advertising is crazy. Like, what they should have did was all of their flagship stores that were that big, condense them shits. Get rid of all the unnecessary shit. Like, you have a Ferris wheel in your store, my nigga. A Ferris wheel. Like, imagine, like, having a Ferris wheel in your backyard is crazy. You understand? Imagine a Ferris wheel in a store. Something you got to go to an amusement park to be in. Like, it has to be outside because you don't put a Ferris wheel inside of something. You understand what I'm saying? So, stuff like that they could have cut down on over the years. And just brought down the size of their store so that way they spending less money in rent. They still, having the merchandise that you want to go there and get, and bring them prices down. Bring them prices down to normal. Like, look at the competition. You understand? Stop expecting everybody to be sold off the same, oh, I'm shopping at Toys R Us. Like, that experience was long gone. Like, I want to say that shit probably died in like 06, 07, like around that time. You understand? It just wasn't a relevant thing anymore. And if they'd have knew this earlier, or if they would have had somebody, like, this is the thing, corporations, y'all need to have somebody, some type of advisors that are like in tune with society, what's going on, where we're headed as, you know, human life and shit like that. Because when you see these things, you can make direct changes to, in the long run, save yourself some money. You understand? Imagine how much money they would have saved if they just condensed it, took out the Ferris wheel, all the space that they were using for that Ferris wheel, make that the store. And you will be cutting down on a lot of space, and you will be cutting down on the overall money that you spend. You understand? But they didn't want to do that. And they still kept their toys at a high price. Like, I was seeing in their last couple of months when they was going out of business, right? Mind you, like I said, they toys are already over retail price, right? So that Barbie doll you can get for $20, they selling it for $30. They selling their stuff talking about they at a discount, and that same Barbie doll that was $30 is now $25. It's still over the retail price. What are you doing, man? You understand? So it's just like that stubborn type of business model that ultimately led to the downfall of Toys R Us. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, man, for that to be such a huge deal in New York, and for it to just to be such a big thing for the kids, like, to watch them go out like that, it's like, for one of y'all to pay attention, man. You feel me? Like, and to see that final picture of the giraffe with the bag packed and the shelves empty, and it said, like, I guess everybody grew up or something like that. Like, that shit hit my heart. I'm like, damn, like that shit was saddening. Like, that's one of the saddest pictures I ever seen, you know, like, make a nigga almost want to shed a tear. Like, you know, that shit just look bad. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, you know, that's pretty much what it was. Like, they was founded in, I think, 1948. You know, I was just reading up on it a little bit before I did this. And 70 years, man. 70 years. And they could have been here a lot longer had they only paid attention and changed their business model and stopped being so stubborn. You understand? That's the problem with these corporations. They feel like they're too big to adapt to society. They want humans to adapt to them. No, you do not do that. You adapt to your customers. You adapt to your clients. You know, you're providing a service. Like, whenever you do that, you want to make sure your customer is, you know, always going to be willing to come to you and wants to pay for your products. You understand? But when you know, they could have made their shit online only. Have smaller stores, you know, have more warehouses where you selling the stuff out of, and just ship. Just have people come online and order and just ship your stuff out like that. You feel me? If I recall, I think at one point you was able to go online and order stuff, but it's like still the prices was over retail. You understand? The experience of shopping in the store is long gone. So it's like, why are you selling stuff online and charging prices over retail? You understand what I'm saying? So that's just greed, man. And ultimately, I know what greed does to people. You feel what I'm saying? So Toys R Us, it's an L for y'all. Y'all are gone, defunct, bankrupt. Y'all are out of here. When you go to ToysRUs.com, they ain't even selling toys on there no more. It's like the story of the company. And that's all that's left right now. You feel what I'm saying? So this is officially the Toys R Us fall from grace. You feel what I'm saying? No Mercy, Trap New York shit, NoMercyTV.com. R.I.P. Toys R Us. I'm out of here. Bye.